NTA Kaduna, your star station.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to yet another episode of our anti-hate speech campaign. Our traditional institution has always been the pride of Africans, the pride of Nigerians, and the pride of each and every one of our cultures. Before the British came, it was all we had. They were our fathers, they were our teachers, they were the people that were closest to the people. When the British came, the system of governance changed. We had something similar that we were not used to. But it came with all its own problems. But we have not forgotten them. We know what they have been doing to our system. We know what they have been doing, their impact socially in achieving social cohesion and even religious tolerance. This week, we have in our studio an eminent traditional father who will be discussing with us the importance and the role of traditional institutions. My fellow co-presenter here, Amil Muhammad Jamil Muhammad. You are most welcome to this episode.
Thank you.
And with us in the studio is a highly respected, eminent personality in the person of Mr. Yakubu, His Royal Highness, Mr. Yakubu Galadima, Sarkin Sabon Gari Nariya, Rigasa District. His Royal Highness, you are most welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. Traditional institutions being custodians of tradition, and just like it's been put by my colleague, you've been those who have been maintaining social cohesion. You've maintained our traditions, you've maintained us on the path of peace. But what, in your own view, would you say is responsible for the hate speeches that are around now?
Well, viewers, ever since, as you have said, we don't have things like the police station, the court, and what have you. Now that the British come, they introduced that to us. Before, the traditional rulers had vital roles to play in the society. You see, we don't have much, as at that time, when there is a problem or a conflict within the community, either go to the ward head or the village head. If it is above the village head, you take it to the district head. And we settled that amicably, there's no problem. But now that the police station, the courts are all around, they take many cases to the court or the police station, which in fact a lot of problems have been coming up. You see now, people, you see people coming from nowhere, bringing false information to the community. Somebody may just come, he has something somewhere. He did not even try to find out the exact what has happened. He can only come and start telling people that there is a fight somewhere else. And when they ask him where, he say he had it from somebody. And the people around, again, we take it. You see, now that the time we are now, this handset, you see people, within a short time, you just communicate with somebody somewhere, and they will carry it to another place. Now, you see, we have a problem of, you see, religion. Any small thing that comes up now, they turn it to be a religion issue.
Well, thank you, Your Highness. If I understand you clearly, then it means you are are you trying to say that because the traditional institutions have been relegated to the background, they no longer serve the purpose they were serving before? Is that why we have now a very hype of hate speech around? That because now instead of going back through the traditional institutions to settle things, then people decide to go to court, people decide to go to police station, or people take laws into their hands because they have relegated. Is that why we have hate speech all around the environment?
Yes, that one contributed. You see, when we are staying without the police station, the court, and what have you, when something happened that the village head or the ward head or the district head is supposed to settle it amicably, they take it to the police. And the police, you know, police doesn't know who and who is staying within the community. They come to work, and within a short time, they will be transferred, and other people will come. It's just like a barrack. Soldier comes, soldier go, barrack remain the same. But the traditional institution, you will be there till death. So you know who comes in and who goes out.
But sorry, His Highness.
Okay.
Are we trying to say that the police system is counterproductive? The system we had before the British is something we should go back to, or what exactly?
Or traditional rulers institutions should be given a specific role in the constitution of Nigeria?
What exactly is missing with what we had before the British and what we are having now?
Well, my advice is that if they can give the traditional institution their rules that they will be playing, in fact, it will help. Why I'm saying this, you see, I related this issue to the police and the court. That time, that there was no police station, no court, the traditional rulers are trying. But if at all they can allow the tradition, or they give them their own rule to be playing, I think it will be better. You see, the police are helping also in terms of security. You see, nowadays that they don't fight with mouth, they don't fight with hand, they use weapon. Before you know it, they gun you down. So you see, the traditional, as at that time, we don't know anything like gun. You see, you talk with mouth, if possible, you use stick. You see, the children nowadays, all these films they are watching is causing a lot of problem. A boy of 4 years, 5 years now will now tell you something that you don't know because you see it through the screen.
So does that mean that the traditional system has outlived its usefulness in the 21st century? Many people think that would we need people who wear caps like this? We don't need them in this modern era. Has the system outlived its usefulness in terms of communicating to the youth and they listen? Have they outlived their usefulness in relations to the hate speech message that they should drive home to the young people and they should listen to?
Yes, that is true. You see, nowadays, as a traditional institution, once you want to talk to our boys nowadays, our youth, or you want to give an advice, they will say, this elder man doesn't know what is happening in the modern world now. We are in the modern world, not the all system. You see? So we find it difficult to control them. And you see, they say charity begins at home. Our youth now, you see, you go to school. The teacher will only impart this Western education to you, but the parents have a vital role to play in terms of the children.
Your Highness, sir, We do know that the traditional institution has a system of information dissemination.
Yes.
That you use town criers in the past, or you use fire and the rest. Your Highness, what has come that we do no longer use that, and we're allowing people to just pass information on behalf of community and not the kind of system that we used to have?
Well, you see, as for me, it's not proper, because as at that time, we, the traditional institution, if there is something coming to the community newly, we call the town criers, and they will go around the village, or they will go around the community, informing them of the recent development. And we take it. Then we find a date that we are going to sit down with the communities and address them of the new development. But now, before you know it, you just receive a call somewhere, maybe from the police, or they will just send a letter to you as a chief, informing you about what is happening or what is going to happen in the community, without coming to seek your consent or to seek your advice as an elder of that community.
So these information come from the police themselves, or from the government, or from the community dwellers?
Well, at times, the information comes from the police or the court. The community dwellers, they are within, and the chief is with them all the time.
Okay, now Your Highness, if you have people within your community who are dwellers within your community, and they decide on their own to begin to peddle hate speeches around on behalf of the community, either within or to other communities, do we have any punitive measure that the traditional institutions have set out to met out on people like this who try to tarnish the image of the traditional institution or the community where the traditional institutions are governing?
Well, we call them, we call their attention, because when we had that, we used to send message to them so that they will come. We now talk to them politely, address them in a manner that they will understand that they should stop that. It will cause problem within the community.
If they don't stop?
If they don't stop, then what we used to do now, because we are in the new system, we now call the attention of the police so that they can come and interfere.
So there's still that strong collaboration between the traditional institution and the law enforcement agents?
There is.
Thank you very much, Your Highness. I have a series of questions. First of all, I was wondering the collaboration between our modern system and the older system in terms of information dissemination and its modernity. We all know that the way town criers were useful before are not longer useful. Maybe we have another form of town crier. What does the traditional institution of the 21st century, what method of information dissemination does it have right now that will carry the message of the ruler to the people and will make sure that hate speeches that may come into the community does not find a root?
Good. Now, we are still applying that system, sending the town criers to inform the villagers or to inform the community of the recent happenings. And whereby the town criers do not go around all. You see, it's a modern world.
Do town criers still function?
They function.
As we know it before, somebody going around and shouting, does it?
Yes. It's still existing.
Okay, it exists, fine.
Yes.
But is it something that meets our yearning right now in our century? Is it something that may need updating, or it is something that is still effective?
It's effective.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How?
Well, you see, let me just use this example. Last week, we held a meeting in the district head office. And when I came back, in fact, I called my town crier to go around and inform the people that we are having an urgent meeting the next day. For me to send that message to them. Because of this election that is coming up, everybody has to be careful. You know the way you speak to your neighbor. You see, it doesn't mean because you are from PDP and from APC, then you will start telling me things that will provoke me. That's what causes problem, and we don't want it. We want everybody, you know the party you are going to choose, I know the one that I'm going to choose, so there's no need for me, in fact, fighting with my neighbor or fighting with my brother because he's in a different party, I'm also in a different party. We don't want it. Everybody has to be careful. We thank God, things are mild now. It wasn't like 2015. When you go here, you see fighting all over. But now, things are going the way we want it. And prayer is the best. We are praying hard to see that.
So do we have town criers that carry anti-hate speech campaign around the community? Do we have people whose duty is to spread anti-hate speech campaign? Do we have such a system right now?
Well, as for me, you know, there is difference in the traditional institution. Here in Kaduna, we are under Zazzau Emirate Council. The way we operate is a little bit different with the way those that are under Osu Chukun and those that are under Agwaja. You see, things are different. Because when we go, let's say like on Salah day, after the Salah, with a day or 2 days, we go to greet the Emir. So the Emir address us. We now come back, we stay with the district head address us. Then we, the village head, we go back to our villages, various villages, and then call the ward head. Then we talk to them. Then the next day, we call the town criers to go around and inform the villagers that on so day we want to sit with them and then call their attention on the recent happenings.
Your Highness, you as a traditional ruler, what have you been doing, especially with the youth within your community, to ensure that they are agents of anti-hate speech campaign, that they go around to, not to peddle hate speeches, but to ensure that they are tackled wherever they find one? How much have you been doing? Now, not only you, how much is traditional institution doing to ensure that youth are so much brought closer for the campaign against hate speech?
Thank you. What we used to do, or what we've been doing, like the Christian, we send message to the churches on Sunday so that they will announce it to everybody. Then the Muslim on Friday, we did the same. Then we fixed a date that we are going to sit with every tribe has their own leader. So that when they come, we now address them. They will now go back to their people because they have their own meeting also. So that when they sit on their meeting, they will now tell them our message.
But very importantly and very quickly, young people these days, very few connect to their traditional rulers. Maybe some, but very few. How connected is the traditional system? How connected is it with the youth of our generation, with the people of our generation? They are there, but how connected are they?
Well, you see, what we are doing, we have the youth leaders. They are always with us in the palace. Any information we want to send to the youth, we use the youth leader. And any problem that comes, we hold the youth leader responsible. So, in fact, the youth leader doesn't sleep. It's just like groundnut oil. Does the same thing with the village heads. Any small thing we have, we now call the youth leader, this is what is happening. So please, quickly go around.
Viewers, do not forget that you can reach us through the phone number that is being scrolled on your screen, our Facebook account, our Twitter account, our email address, and the address of the office address that is being scrolled on your screen. You can reach us. We'll see you when we come back after the commercial break. Thank you.
Hate speech is a speech that attacks, threatens, or insults a person or group on the basis of national origin, ethnicity, color, religion, gender identity, sexual orientation, or disability. Join Reverend Father Stephen Ojakpa, MSP, Director of Dialogue and Ecumenism of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, and a member of the Central Coordinating Council of the Interfaith Dialogue Forum for Peace, and Amir Muhammad Jamil Muhammad, Founding Director, Peace and Development Builders Global Initiative, and co-chairman of the Central Coordinating Council of the Interfaith Dialogue Forum for Peace, in an anti-hate speech campaign for a better Nigeria. Speech is life. Hate can kill. Let's build our community free of hate, and we shall have a hate-free nation. This message is brought to you by Interfaith Dialogue Forum for Peace, IDFP, and supported by the International Dialogue Center, KAICID.
Welcome back, viewers. Before we went on break, a question was posed to His Highness, and he was to respond on, with all this system that we have in the traditional institution, yet hate speeches are still very, very high. Your Highness, why do you think that is still happening?
So we try to see that we advise the youth and those that are bringing these hate speeches, which is causing a lot of problems that we are facing now. So we try to see that everybody remain very humble and honest. And you see, human relation matters a lot. The way somebody talks to his neighbor may cause hate speech and may cause problem in society.
And one, as a follow-up, what specific action is the traditional institution taking to curb hate speech? What specific action are they taking, or have they been taking, or will they take to curb hate speech?
Well, the traditional institutions are trying to see that hate speeches has come to an end by calling the youth leaders, calling the church leaders, calling the leaders of the Muslims, that is the imams, to come together. Bring your idea, bring my own, then we'll see the way forward. So we've been doing it, and we'll continue to do it until we eliminate those hate speech.
Your Highness, for instance, there are some things that used to happen within communities. Or because I'm from one tribe, the other person is from one tribe, I use a derogative term. I don't want to start mentioning examples of which tribe do what we said, but you will call somebody by a derogatory statement of, hi, no, this is your tribe, this is your tribe, is that. Do we have such things happening within our communities? And if we do, have we had instances where people have been punished by the traditional institution for doing that?
Yes, we still have them, but we are trying to see that they stop. You see, like in the area I live, we have, I have to mention it, we have the Yorubas. They are the majorities. And we have Christian Yorubas, we have Muslim Yorubas. And we have the mosques within us, we have the churches within us. And there's a problem that arises, it's not quite long, that a Yoruba man, you came to that area, you made that church there, these people are worshipping. And you are now saying that they have to stop worshipping there because they are disturbing the community. Before we know this thing, it has gone to the police. From the police to the Yoruba leader. From the Yoruba leader, they came back to me. I said this thing has to involve JNI and the Khan. But they didn't hear. They went as far as taking that case to the court, Daura Road. So the case is coming up on 21st. You see? So we have been trying. It doesn't mean that you are a Yoruba man, I'm maybe a Katab, a Igbo man, then we'll be showing differences. We don't want that again. We are all one.
So how do you punish, what system of punishment do you give people who look down on others so much?
Well, what we used to do, as I've earlier said, we call their leader. You know, each tribe had their leader. That we used to sit down with them and deliberate.
So no punishment?
We punish. We punish. We punish. When you do that, we call your leader. we talk to him, he is taking you back, then to give you the punishment that you deserve. Because,
like, what kind of punishment do you have?
Well,
do you put somebody in court, in jail? Do you flog?
Okay, or do you send person away from
do you
your
banish
community?
somebody in the community?
We don't do that. There's there's a place that we call the strong or the discipline stone, which in my tribe we call it kekedafan. That is, once you misbehave or you do something that the community doesn't want, they will put you in that place. You will be sweating, you will be crying till you promise that you will never repeat it. They will now leave you.
So that,
and has this been changing people from their bad attitudes to taking?
It has been changing. It has been changing. Seriously.
But Your Highness, I understand from what you have said that the traditional institution is so, the powers are so limited and so that people can even forget about the traditional institution and just go to court, go to police, and then they will go and begin to air their grievances there, and then it's been taken without even recourse to the traditional institution. What will you call on the government to do to ensure that the traditional institution gains some powers to checkmate some of these things?
Very good. You see, in fact, we've been crying, thank God. You see, what we've been complaining of with the traditional institution, something will happen. Something will happen that they're supposed to send it to the traditional institution, but they will bypass us and go straight to the court. When they go to that court, we hear about it. We now write to that court that we have interest on that issue. They should send it back to us. If we cannot settle
the court used to
send it back to us. If we can settle, good and fine. We now inform the court that we have settled. There's no problem.
That's a very good one. Thank you once again, viewers, for watching. You will agree with me that it has been a very interesting episode, listening to His Royal Highness talking about our traditional system, what support the government can give, that cases, issues should be related back to them as first point of contact. We have always had what we call ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution, and they are a wonderful source of that platform for us. Let us try to make use of them. Let us try to be very familiar with our traditional rulers and our traditional system. On behalf of Interfaith Dialogue Forum for Peace, I would like to thank you for watching. I'd like to thank my co-presenter. I'd like to thank very most sincerely Your Royal Highness, Sarkin Sabon Gari Nariya.
Thank you. I'm also delighted to be here.
Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
Keep a date with us, same time, same place.